So welcome back to another episode of Ren's Wasteland Camp Reviews / Dumpster Fires of the Commonwealth. This is my character Harley. We came over here to Blazed Ways Camp. They have a few things on sale. This is by definition a floating camp. It's not horrible. I mean, they have some, stuff out, and they obviously have gotten used to being attacked here. They've thrown down spike boards in the direction the attacks come from. You've got a decent sized garden. You can technically walk onto this upper level if you wanted to. But this is a type of floating camp. Um, they don't really have anything in their inventory that I really want to see as far as sale items go. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a camp. This is one of those number one camps. This is the dumpster fire of the day kind of deal. Because it doesn't really have any potential unless you completely gut it and tear it down and do something else with it. I can't say that, it has a good basis for a build. It doesn't look like a house. It looks like, well, what it is, a couple platforms stuck in the middle of nowhere that somebody stuck a bunch of crap on top of and put a bunch of gardening crap out around. It's not really anything but a one, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and move along. I'm going to go to Tank GTS's camp over here, but I'm going to go to the White Spring Station before I... Well, no, hold on here. I'll go down here and check out this one. Prix Dante's. We'll check it out first. Not because of the name, but because of the fact that it's in a location where I know a bunch of trap camps are usually placed, or um, a bunch of vendor camps. That's the problem with that area. You get a bunch of both. So it'll either have high-end vendors, which are vendors that are that consider themselves to be traders in game, and they have a lot of material and a lot of weird things, and they have a high cap value camp, or it's a trap camp where you're going to die. And in this case, it's a dumpster fire. And they've got like, yeah, I would buy these maybe, but I don't need them. This is actually a really nice gun if you want something that's fun to use. And this right here is really nice to have as well. Both of them are priced at the upper end of the price bracket that I would even consider paying for either one of them. But that's a personal thing, and you can price stuff at whatever you want. It's your camp. It just doesn't mean it's going to sell. But hey, they might not be interested in that. Yeah, definite dumpster fire. Definite one. And I mean, look at this. All the stuff that's been cut down. This is the problem with putting plants out in areas like this where you have a high attack ratio and no defense. So we'll head over here to Dashinell's camp. This is the White Springs. You have a certain level of bad guys or monsters that'll attack here. Usually insects or mirelurks or the occasional uh, ghoul. But the main thing you get here is scorch beasts. So you get like the scorch beasts fly over because there's a spawn right here for them. And they'll fly right across this area and up this way and totally fight whatever's in the way. So if your camp has a bunch of guns and shoots at them, it will totally try and decimate it. Without guns, it's more likely for it to just kind of go zipping by. Let's take another look at the outside. This place is built in a relatively flat zone. So There should be no reason for it to be sitting, any way, shape, or form that is not connected to the ground. They have gone to the trouble of putting most of their workbenches outside, so it's easy access. They have the charging core for fusion cores, and they have their power tied directly into that, which I understand if you're using heavy weapons or power armor a lot, you need that. Their vendors are right here. And as you can see, they have a boatload of maps, which these are the maps that will get you power armor pieces, the cranberry bog ones. So, I don't usually buy maps that are at this price, but I will buy a few of these because I give them out to other players whenever I first meet new players, and I sometimes go out and just go mining a bunch. But I'm only going to pick up 50 of them. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Decent floor, the walls are all stone, the exterior is all garbage wood from the first set that you get. They have the curtains, the Brotherhood of Steel medallions, some paintings, a couple things from the atomic shop, couple things from random events, couple things from the scoreboard. Not really decorated well, not really decorated horrible, because there's not really a lot of decoration here. It's like they built the camp and they haven't figured out what they want to do with the interior yet, so they haven't bothered trying to do anything with it yet. They just, put the floor in, put the walls in, put the lighting in, and a few little odds and ends probably that they had from another camp in their inventory that they just threw together. Um, they have Beckett, which means they're at least level 25. The stuff that I just bought means that they're a lot higher than level 25, unless this is like a vendor camp, which is entirely possible. And they have completed the scoreboard. They have a few plants put out, but on a scale of 1 to 10, it's not a bad looking building. It's not a great looking building, but it's by no means anything more than a 2. Even with what it is, it's still a 2 because there's nothing really here. It's just a basic functional camp that you could use. It could be so much more than that if they want it to be. Thing to note whenever you build your camps, wherever you first place this camp location is where creatures will spawn that attack your camp 90% of the time. You'll get creatures that walk in from exterior locations, like if, something spawned down there and there was a big fight and it came up here. And then you've got stuff that is not a spawn in. Now, over here, this is a remnant from another camp, just so you know. It created a semi-permanent object in this world space that'll last until the server gets reset, probably. Or at least until nobody's in this chunk of it to make it all despawn. But this is from the, I want to say, hammer thing that you get at Nuka World, the game. It creates a semi-permanent object whenever you despawn in the location. Um, Something to consider. I'm going to hop over here to this camp over here at No Magic's camp, and that'll be my last camp for the day on this world space. And so on average, I'm hitting 3 to 5 camps per setting right now versus the normal 2 camps that I used to hit. The reason for that is because, well, you got to get them while they're here. So we've got the concrete set. I want to say that's themed Brotherhood of Steel. And you got the Vault Tech set. You got Santatron, some plants out here. This is from Nuka World. It's the Thirst Zapper thing. This is from Nuka World over here. It's a vendor area, which I'm surprised they didn't put their vendors in. Um, you got a few odds and ends out here. Some of them from Nuka World, some of them from different things. Like I want to say this is from the. You can buy it over in the White Springs. Um, you got some stuff from Halloween. This is what I was talking about, by the way, the hammer thing. This is the thing that leaves that disc thing floating in space. The sledgehammer game. I can't ever remember what it's called. But this is pretty much a vendor type camp. The skeleton costume you can find in game if you're willing to uh, server hop a bunch and jump looking for Halloween costume wearing people. It's very, very easy to get. Same thing with these helmets here. You can get these without too much of a problem if you do the quest line and remember to save it at the end of it. But some people don't, and they got rid of it. So then you have people like this who've done it multiple times and have it sitting in their vendors for people to buy. I get it. Most of this stuff is had like no real price change. Some of it's been jumped up quite a bit. Some of it's not really. Um, like I said, vendor camp. Most of the workbenches you guys need will be outside. This is mainly stuff that they're displaying that they've, gone through the trouble of getting and think is kind of cool. I do think it's funny that they put toys in that. A few more workbenches. Daphne. By the way, Daphne is one of the slaves that you can buy from Foundation. And yes, I call them slaves because you can actually buy old followers from people at Foundation, and I want to say maybe even up at the Crater. You can buy some of the older followers, but I'm not 100%. I know you can get them at Foundation. Okay, so not a bad little place. Not great. By no means is it great. By no means is it horrible. I've seen way worse. I've seen way worse today. Um, but that being said, this one is still only going to rate. And there's Daphne's little thing. See here? He's got her locked in here so she can do her labors at the different benches and dissect this little alien dude that he's got laying here. I mean, it's horrible. The things that people do to Daphne. By the way, you can't change her outfit. She's one of the few that you can't. Her and the super mutant, I think, are the two that you can't, to be honest. And I want to say this billboard is one of theirs too. Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10 is how I judge everything. This one here is only going to rate, I'm going to give it a 5. It's not a bad camp. It's actually fairly decent compared to some of the ones we've been to today. But it's also not a good camp in the fact that the decorative choices it's very warehouse. By that I mean it looks like somebody just built a warehouse and shoved a bunch of shit in it for no other reason than they could, which I get it. I mean, there's a lot of people that build that way, and when you're going to build something and you're concentrating more on your vendors than anything else, I get it. But my thing is, if you're going to build a camp and you're going to set it up to be a vendor camp, meaning you've got like, items that are priced at 30,000 caps, and some of them are, you would think that you would at least build a shop front for your camp so that it would look like a shop. So it would legitly, make people go, oh, let's see what we can buy here. And you would have stuff that was like, low priced for new players, and then you'd have stuff that was the high price stuff that's the rare shit. Because he's got stuff that isn't rare priced, or she, because I don't know who it is, has stuff that is high priced that should be like, common items, like 50 to 150 caps. And whenever I say that things are overpriced, that's what I mean by things are overpriced. most people don't mind spending 50 to 150 caps for a common plan if it's one they don't have. And I get it. It's your stuff. You can sell it however much you want to. But you're not going to sell much of it if you have it all priced at like 2 to 5,000 caps for something that should be, 100 to 150. Because it's easy for me and anybody else that's looking for crap to just jump to somebody else's camp or jump to a vendor. I would rather pay 500 caps to a vendor than pay 2,000 caps to somebody that, has it overpriced at their camp because they think it's rare. And there are certain things that are rare in this game because the plans that Graham sells are kind of rare. The reason why I say kinda is because it takes timing and luck to find them. The plans that are sold by the responder robot, like the cuckoo clock and different things from him, kind of rare. I get it. You can farm them. You can make some decent money off them. I never understood why people sold a plan for 5,000 caps to somebody that cost them 100. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's just lazy. Caps aren't really that important in this game. It's a currency that exists, but it's a currency that almost has zero value, to be honest. I used to do trading with people for items and things like that, and they were always like, "Oh, I have this rare plan." The problem is it's not a rare plan. Why not? Because I know how to get 50 of them. I understand there are people that don't. I understand there are people that don't understand how valuable some of the stuff they have. To be honest, rare weapon rolls are more valuable than plans in this game. Always will be. Because weapon rolls, even if you're making it yourself, there are certain rolls that are so rare to get that making it yourself, I've went through, I want to say 2,500 cores on through 5 characters to make one suit of armor that did exactly what I wanted. That's one suit of armor. So I mean, it all depends on the RNG, and some characters are better at it than others. Anyway, you guys have a good time. It's been fun. Enjoy the game as much as you can.